Vegeta went from being Dragon Ball's biggest loser to its biggest winner by giving up. Because he learned 3 lessons which I'm about to share with you that will help you learn things about yourself that you aren't aware of. How to escape unhealthy comparisons and how to achieve true happiness in your life. But before we get into that, first we have to go through Vegeta's life, why a mindset that you probably also have led to him being miserable, and the importance of asking yourself why you want what you want. Please stick around till the end of the video for a special announcement about the channel. Vegeta being born a prince greatly affected his life. Having a father who constantly worshipped and praised him all while never correcting him was terrible. But even that puts him above most black boys because at least he had a dad.
Good night, son. Love you.
Raising your son, constantly telling him that he's the prince of the strongest and most special race in the universe isn't healthy. Because first of all, it's cap. The Saiyan race isn't the strongest in the universe. It's obviously Frieza's race. I don't know what they're called, so we'll just call them the Ice Cubes. Frieza by himself destroyed their entire planet and killed millions of Saiyans, but they're the strongest, fam?
Okay.
Anyway, all this praise leads to Vegeta having a massive ego, superiority complex, and a huge sense of entitlement. Bringing us to the first thing we can learn from Vegeta, that we are all products of our environment, and whether we like it or not, our environment shapes us whether positively or negatively, and it's important to be aware of this. Which is why Vegeta breaks down when he fights Goku for the first time. Here's a man who's lived his whole life knowing he's hot, but here's a filthy basic Saiyan of normal birth who's not only competing with him but beating him in a fight. This disconnect between what he believes and reality starts to feed into his insecurities, that maybe he's wrong, maybe he's not as special as he thought he was, and like the baby he is, bro decides if he can't win, he'll destroy the entire planet. Really? You're gonna mark everyone just because of one guy, bro? Just go get your and spin back, Vegeta. They jumping me! They jumping me! You already know there must have been some random African farmer on the other side of the planet wondering, what I do? One of the most painful moments in Vegeta's life is when Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time. Not only did a low-class warrior kill Frieza, the person who destroyed his planet and killed his parents, but Goku also achieved a legendary transformation before he did. Vegeta is crushed and we get to see him at his most insecure. However, during the beginning of the Android saga, he still has some fight left in him and goes as far as to mimic the training Goku did in order to try and also go Super Saiyan. But crazy enough, almost as if to clown him even harder, here comes Trunks, another random Saiyan who can also go Super Saiyan. So now in Vegeta's mind, there's not one but 2 monkeys who can also go Super Saiyan while he can't, even though Trunks is his son and it's actually a flex. And after training himself to death, Vegeta finally gives up. I don't care! Realizing that maybe he'll never achieve it. But then it happens. We'll come back to the giving up part in a bit. Fast forward, Vegeta is back to his usual arrogant self and tries to kill all the androids by himself despite Trunks' warning. And surprise, surprise, he gets folded, especially by Android 18's fine ass, bro. This whole fight, I just kept thinking, give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it!
We must stay focused, brothers.
Vegeta was able to achieve Super Saiyan here by giving up because he asked himself a simple question. Why do I want to go Super Saiyan? And realized that he wanted it because he felt that his life was worthless if he wasn't a Super Saiyan. And this is our second lesson. How you choose to measure yourself determines the nature of your problems. Let me explain. If what we consider success or failure is poorly chosen, then our lives can easily fall apart. I'll use myself as an example. Recently, I've been having an unhealthy obsession with YouTube. Slowly over the past 6 months, I'd only watch YouTube as the first thing when I woke up and as the last thing before I slept. Okay, that last part maybe wasn't 100% true. I'd also look at some nudes I got before I slept sometimes. What? A man has to eat, fam? But I noticed the more and more time I spent on YouTube, the more miserable I got. Here I was getting pissed every time I saw a YouTuber I knew was better than me get more views, or worse, content which from my own delusional, arrogant perspective I saw as trash get more views than I do. I'm a super competitive guy, so everything I get into I try to be the best, but seeing someone else get more and more exposure started to erode at my sanity. It was a terrible cycle until finally it hit me and I asked myself, why do you want a successful channel? And here's another thing we can learn from Vegeta. Question why you want the things you want and actually be honest with yourself. And after digging deep, I found the reason. It's because I think I'm a failure, and if I can get a successful channel, maybe I'll stop feeling like one and can be happy I had the same mindset Vegeta had. And I think the reason I felt this way is because of something I went through in high school. I went to a public all-boys high school, and when I was in Form 2, they introduced a supplementary program. It was a boarding school, so after every 3 months, the term would end, and we'd be released to go home. And I don't know about you, but freedom after spending months locked up with a bunch of sweaty sounds like heaven. But if you failed in any subject during the end of term exam or had below a C+ as your average, you'd have to stay an extra 2 weeks in school for extra tuition. Now, I would only fail in one subject, math. But all my other grades were Gucci fam. I'd average a B+, but since I failed in math, I had to stay. So out of my 4-week break, I had to spend 2 more weeks in that shithole. It was dehumanizing. Watching my friends go home while you're forced to stay must have been how Vegeta felt watching Goku surpass him and go Super Saiyan. That soul-crushing feeling of being left behind. All the staff hated us. The food was undercooked and the chefs didn't even try to act like they cared. The teachers were pissed because they had to stick around school for another 2 weeks instead of being on their holiday to teach what they saw as slow, brainless idiots. So they just randomly cuss us out. They didn't even want us to look happy. They just walked into class like, "Did I just catch you having fun?" But fam, the most painful part was that the rest of the students that stayed behind actually was stupid. These had F's in all their subjects. They were actually dumb.
Cannot do basic 1 + 1. Think about your life.
I had A's and B's in everything but math, so it was a special type of hell for me because I didn't belong there. And because of math, I stayed behind at the end of every term for 3 years till they scrapped the program, because all the stress, ironically enough, actually made the students that stayed back fail even more. I don't even use math in my job, so it was literally all for nothing. So that's why I wanted a successful channel. I had this void in my soul ever since then, and as soon as I picked up YouTube, that feeling of inadequacy reared its head. I wanted to prove those stupid fucks wrong, despite having finished high school years ago. That's why I was obsessed with getting views and growing, not for the clout or for the money, but to prove to myself that I'm not a failure, that I matter. Which is such a stupid mindset, because all the growth I've got on this channel, I've got from you guys and your support. I had let my environment mold me negatively. So next time you're obsessing over something in order to be happy, ask yourself why you really want it. Maybe you're single and you want a girlfriend or boyfriend because honestly, you're lonely. Can't relate to that one. We've got gay where I'm from.
No sir, not me.
Or maybe you want to get rich or get into better shape, but really dig deep and be honest with yourself. Because as embarrassing and as cringe as your reasons may be, they are nearly as embarrassing as announcing your deepest insecurities to the entire world on YouTube.
How did they get you at 4K?
After taking so many L's that he gives himself his own montage, Vegeta finally decides to make a change and changes his mind. Instead of putting all his value on his strength or whether or not he can beat Goku, Vegeta decides to live a balanced life, bringing us to our third lesson. Any life dedicated to just one simplistic pursuit will always be lacking. And Vegeta decides to give up the notion that he only needs to be strong to be happy by focusing on his wife Bulma and his son Trunks. During the Majin Buu saga, Vegeta actually decides to hug his son and even sacrifices himself for him by knocking out Goku so that only he has to die. The same guy who believed he was a super special god decided to die for someone. Vegeta didn't necessarily completely give up on the idea of being stronger and fighting, but decided to stop just fighting for himself, but also for others. In the same way, the success or failure of my channel does not reflect me as a person. I'm saying this out loud because I still don't 100% believe it, which is wild because even having 1,000 people watch my videos is crazy. We've been lied to as a culture about happiness. We've all been led to believe that one day if we achieve a certain goal or get rich or famous, we'll finally be happy and the struggle will end. But that's a lie, fam. But don't look at it negatively. It's life, G. What you want isn't a lack of problems. It's problems that you enjoy solving. And Vegeta decided to pick up problems that he actually enjoys solving, like how to be a good husband and a great dad instead of just mindlessly obsessing over strength. But finally in Dragon Ball Super, which is ass, and I refuse to ever finish watching, you can't force me, fam! Vegeta finally becomes a family man, and he may not look it, but he's content, he's happy, and that's how Vegeta became a winner, by giving up. Now for the announcement. There comes a time in every YouTuber's life that they realize that YouTube hates its creators. So to supplement how unstable the algorithm is, I made a Patreon. Whoa, did you just... Did you just try to click off, fam? Damn, bro, let me talk, bro. Alright, so you'll get early access to videos in their full uncensored glory and a bulk of videos that YouTube deleted from this channel. Q&A sessions, your name at the end of every video, and since I'm so nice, I'll even let you call me an on there. Not with the hard R though. You try that now, beat your ass, fam. But jokes aside, I've already typed up why I'm making this on my about page. Kindly pause the video and read it. I've got a job, but also devoting at least 40 hours a week to this channel, and it's starting to take a toll on me. So I'll be very grateful for your support. That'll be all. I've been Gigak, and I'll see you all next time.